of Saints and Sinners by Morningstar Writes. Chapter 7. The Performance. Alastor rummages through the kitchen cabinets, his agitation increasing when he can't seem to locate his "oh dear" cup. As he rifles through the kitchen, Charlie steps in through the doorway and waves at him. "Morning, Alastor."
"Where is my cup?"
he says in lieu of a greeting. Charlie sucks in a breath and looks away skittishly. "Oh, gee, I'm not sure. What does it look like?" she sounds wholly unconvincing, and Alastor squints at her suspiciously.
"Why, you know what it looks like, my dear. Did someone take it?"
Charlie opens her mouth, thinks better of it, and then dashes away as fast as possible.
"When I find out who did this, I will teach them not to mess with the radio demon,"
Alastor mutters, his deer ears flat on his head. He's angrily putting his coffee set away when he hears a sound at the door. Knock, knock, knock. And he tips his head out to the kitchen entrance.
"Who is it?"
"It's me, Mimsy."
Mimsy's familiar voice shrieks through the entryway, and Alastor walks over with some apprehension. She's all smiles when he opens the door, her set-ease eyes looking up innocently.
"Alastor, dollface, how you been?"
Mimsy squeals. They embrace each other, and Alastor can smell her signature perfume.
"Mimsy, sweetheart, you better not be here to cause problems again."
He smiles, but there isn't an ounce of humor in his voice.
No, Alastor, this'll be fun for you."
Mimsy clasps her hands together giddily.
"I'm just here with an itty-bitty request."
"It's always something with you, isn't it?"
"Oh, sweetie, always such a riot."
Mimsy laughs airily, not taking his words to heart.
"We're just missing some musicians at the jazz club. Could you help fill in while I look for a new hire?"
Alastor pauses at this. He does enjoy performing, and he's always been fond of the music at Mimsy's club, both in life and death.
"For how long?"
"About a week, at night. But I'll be happy to give you something for your time. How's about some whiskey and some dancing?"
Mimsy does the Charleston in place, kicking her feet energetically, and Alastor cracks a genuine grin at the sight.
"I must say it has been a while since I did any of that."
Alastor joins Mimsy during a dance, and together they swing around to the sound of their shoes clicking on the tiled floor.
"Well, if it's only for a week, I suppose it could be entertaining."
"I knew I could count on you. And if you know anyone else who can play music, let me know. Like, say, is His Royal Highness still around? He'd probably bring in quite a crowd."
Mimsy says innocently, but there's a wicked glint in her eyes. So Alastor chooses to feign ignorance.
"Who?"
"Oh, you know. I saw you two the other night."
Mimsy lowers her voice at this, as though divulging a secret.
"Your shirt ripped right off. What kind of devilish deeds were you up to,
Alastor is so dumbstruck by Mimsy's insinuation that he is unable to speak for a second. He doesn't usually partake in carnal activities, and the idea that someone might have mistaken them as having public displays of affection causes blistering heat beneath his skin, scorching and confusing, and is altogether embarrassing.
"It's nothing as scandalous as you think,"
Alastor says primly.
"Just a bit of fun."
Fine.
Mimsy fans herself with a gloved hand.
"Alastor, you are simply the cat's meow."
Alastor chooses not to dignify her innuendo with a response and pivots the conversation.
"Regardless, I am not his talent agent. I don't know if he has the time to spare."
"Well, can you at least ask? And you're on tomorrow at the club, 10 p.m. sharp."
Alastor watches her receding figure as she sashays away. When he closes the door, Lucifer is on his mind again, which is something that's started to happen more often than not. He's still stuck on a memory of their game in the alleyway. Lucifer's agile movements, his great wings fluttering the air, the feel of his hand on Alastor's chest. Alastor blinks in confusion. Where did that thought even come from? He places his own hand over his sternum, feeling his heartbeat. It doesn't pulse quite the same as when Lucifer had put his smaller hand on top, his dark gray fingers grazing over Alastor's exposed chest. "Aye, game!" Angel Dust waves Lucifer over to the bar.
Can you come over here for a sec?
Oh, sure. He walks over curiously, and Angel Dust hands him a little wrapped item that's covered in big glittery paper.
Gift for you.
For me? Lucifer says and all. You shouldn't have. He rips off the wrapping, eager to find out what's underneath, and his disappointment is immeasurable when he realizes it's a printed out version of the selfie Velvet took. You really shouldn't have, Lucifer says flatly. Angel Dust cackles at this, slapping his hand over his face from mirth.
It's cute. I mean, you can cut out Velvet's head if you want, but I thought you'd like to keep it.
Why would I want such an ugly photo of myself? Lucifer looks at it a little longer and...
Yep, it's still awful. I mean, Alastor's in it.
Angel Dust studies him carefully when he says this.
Say, what did you do after the club anyway?
Real subtle, kid. Husk mutters, fixing up a tall glass of water. He sticks a spiral straw into it and passes it to Lucifer, who accepts the drink gratefully. Oh, that bitch? Lucifer scoffs and takes a big sip of his water. He took me to an alleyway.
An alleyway?
Angel Dust's jaw drops. Yeah, and then he tried to pound my ass.
Pound?
Yeah, he wanted to fight me or something. Lucifer finishes up the water and pushes it back to Husk. Thanks for the drink, bartender.
What the hell?
Angel Dust shouts, making Lucifer jump at his reaction. You need to learn your slang better! Oh, what did I say?
Lucifer says, confused.
Angel Dust sags in his chair and looks over at a Husk, the two of them communicating silently with their eyes.
Never mind.
Angel Dust waves him off. You're hurting my head. Whiskers, another one. I told you not to call me Whiskers, jackass. Husk still mixes up a pink drink in his cocktail shaker, and Lucifer slides off the chair, scrutinizing the picture as he walks back to his room. It's still completely unflattering upon closer inspection, and he looks at Alastor's distorted body in the photo, his face almost unrecognizable save for his ever-present smile. He carefully folds it right where Velvet's head is, not wanting to look at her. Although, it does remind him of a different image. The one he stole from the V-Tower, where Alastor was smiling mischievously, not a glitch in sight. Not for the first time, he regrets giving it to Alastor, who had burned it straight away. When he makes it back into his room, he walks over to his desk and sets the photo beside Alastor's pen and coffee cup and bow tie. He's faced with the realization that he had inadvertently constructed an altar dedicated to Alastor. No! Lucifer bites his lip worriedly. How did this happen? His eyes sweep across the incriminating objects and his hands hover over them nervously, wanting to hide them but also not wanting to ruin their placement. He ends up covering the table with as many rubber ducks as he can, piling them haphazardly on top of each other. Once he's done, the desk looks more like a shrine for ducks, which is something he can live with.
Your Majesty!
Ah! Lucifer whirls around and over face to face with the one person he didn't want to see. Alastor stares back at him, his smile resembling one of confusion.
Did I scare you?
Alastor croons, looking over Lucifer's shoulder. His eyes rig over the heap of rubber ducks in amusement.
Looks like you were quite busy today.
I like making ducks, Lucifer manages to say. Want one? He grabs a stayed duck at random and shoves it onto Alastor's hand, where it squeaks obnoxiously in the silence. Alastor looks like he has no idea what to do with it.
You are giving this to me.
Mm-hmm. Lucifer nods vigorously. An amazing magical rubber duck made by yours truly. You're welcome. Alastor brings it up closer to his face to examine it, and his eyes flick between looking at the duck and at Lucifer.
It looks like you, sir.
What? Lucifer takes a step closer to examine the duck, noting the little top hat, the black bow tie, the blush marks on its cheeks, and he can admittedly see some resemblance. Oh yeah, will you look at that. You know, I make so many of these, I run out of ideas on how to design them. Lucifer rummages through his rubber ducks carefully and pulls out some of the weirder looking ones, the ones with multiple eyes or with different accessories. He can sense Alastor watching as he lines them up, and he's feeling increasingly awkward the longer he doesn't say anything. You can have a different one. Lucifer says hurriedly. He didn't even mean to give any to him, but now that he's opened up that Pandora's box, Alastor's silence was making him prattle on uncomfortably.
No need,
Alastor says, slipping the duck into his pocket jacket.
One is enough.
No, I mean you could pick something else.
This one is sufficient.
Lucifer pauses in organizing his rubber duck assemblage to gaze at Alastor, who looks absorbed in thought. So, why are you here? Lucifer asks carefully. He's still somewhat off kilter after their fight in the alleyway, and while it was nice that Alastor reassured him in his own twisted way that he shouldn't be self-conscious, it was easier said than done. Alastor places his hand atop his radio cane, and he looks over at Lucifer, his gaze calculating.
Mimsy came by today. She owns a jazz club down in Hell, and I'll be performing some songs at her establishment.
Who?
My friend. She's about this tall.
Alastor motions with his hand.
And she came in during our song.
Oh, right, Mumsy.
It's Mimsy.
Alastor hesitates for 1 second. 2 seconds.
She asked if you would like to join.
Alastor says slowly. To what? Lucifer blinks.
To play an instrument. On stage.
Alastor struggles to get the last sentence out.
With me.
It's the first time Alastor has asked him to do something that wasn't a fight. Lucifer takes a step closer, and Alastor leans back a bit, but he doesn't move from his spot. Do you, want me to?
Do you?
I mean, I guess I'm not doing anything. Lucifer relents, watching Alastor carefully. Unless you'd rather I stay here.
Is that what you would prefer?
Lucifer slaps his hand on his forehead in exasperation. Okay, now I know you're just messing with me. Alastor clutches his cane, laughing all the while.
Why, I think it'd be rather entertaining if we both went, wouldn't you say? The king of hell and the radio demon beguiling the masses with song.
So you do want me there, Lucifer says, smiling impishly.
Well, now, I wouldn't go that far.
Still, Alastor's dear ears flick up with interest.
Can you handle these?
Alastor asks, passing Lucifer a songbook. They had made their way down to the conference room again. Alastor has his piano beside the radio, whereas Lucifer is standing close by with his fiddle. Whoa, easy. Lucifer's eyes skim over the music score, noting that they were jazz arrangements from the 1920s again. Alastor clearly had fond nostalgia for that era.
Are you sure you're not just putting on a brave face?
Alastor taunts. I'm clearly the better musician.
I disagree. Last time you came in a bit slow.
Well, you missed a few notes when you played.
Ha! Fuck you!
Alastor gnashes his teeth together at this, and Lucifer's grin goes after he successfully calls him out. He turns around to open up the piano fallboard, and he glances over at Lucifer, indicating that he would like to start practicing. They perform together without speaking at all, save for exchanging some mild critique. Lucifer flips through the sheets on the music stand when they change songs, but he picks up the composition quickly, and he's certain he's memorized enough to perform adequately. Alright, let's practice tomorrow before we go on stage. Lucifer puts down his fiddle after the sun starts to set, illuminating the deer and duck motifs in the stained glass. The light washes the room in a honey-dappled glow, mellow and enchanting. After Alastor closes the lid of the piano, he swivels on the piano bench to face him.
Of course, Your Majesty.
He doesn't make the instrument disappear this time, and it looks at home beside the cherry red radio. When Lucifer sneaks a peek over at him, he's met with Alastor's fervent gaze, unblinking and serious. There's a tightness in the atmosphere, something that he can't quite put a finger on. Well, I guess I'll see you. Lucifer makes a motion to leave, but Alastor stops him in his tracks, placing his radio cane down by his foot. He spins to look at him questioningly, and Alastor raises 3 fingers up.
Did you forget? You've been hiding away for 3 days, which means 3 compliments.
Lucifer exhales, annoyed, and he can feel the lingering tension dissipate. Were you always such a hard ass?
I adhere to the rules of the deal, sir.
Not a deal. Lucifer mutters immediately. Okay, fine. 3, we'll rotate our compliments. You owe me some too.
How fun!
Alastor says, leaning in.
Well, royalty first.
Lucifer racks his brains for something to say that he hasn't mentioned before. They've been doing this for a long time, and Lucifer's starting to run out of things to compliment that aren't deeply personal. Your height. Alastor shrugs.
Obviously.
What? Obviously?
Lucifer's eyes bug out at this.
Don't forget, I know about your little fascination with Lilith.
Alastor smiles maliciously.
I also enjoy how you are so much shorter in real life.
Okay, you're definitely insulting me.
I can assure you that I am not.
Alastor sounds surprisingly firm. Lucifer pauses at this, and there really isn't any sort of insincerity he can detect in Alastor's tone, so he just coughs and moves on. Well, I guess, you're very warm.
Oh, am I that personable?
I meant literally, Lucifer yells, like your hand and your chest.
He clamps up immediately.
But the damage is done. Lucifer has been trying not to think about that particular instance of the fight, when we tore Alastor's shirt off and then placed his hands on him. And he's genuinely surprised that Alastor hasn't tried to exact revenge on him yet. He was warm, though, Lucifer thinks traitorously. Okay, now you say something.
You are soft.
Alastor's smile broadens.
Especially your hand. And I mean that literally.
Oh, fuck you. Don't just repeat what I said. Lucifer grumbles, knowing that he's fully mocking him at this point. It takes a long time to think about the last compliment, and Alastor sits on the piano bench patiently waiting for Lucifer to formulate his sentence. He pulls his hat down to cover his face, absolutely mortified by what he's about to say. You're a good listener.
A good listener?
Alastor sounds incredulous.
I don't think so. You're just making things up now.
Why would I lie about this? Lucifer's voice is muffled under his hat. I mean, you seriously just... When I ramble on and on about dumb shit, you're there, reacting, listening, responding. Lucifer can hear Alastor walk closer, his shoes clicking on the tiles. He feels himself grabbing the brim of his hat to lift it up, so that they're face to face, and Alastor is unbearably near. His eyes are brilliant vermilion up close.
No one has ever said that to me before.
Alastor looks thoroughly amused.
Since you shared something so intimate, I shall share a secret with you too.
What? Lucifer can't help but be intrigued. Alastor pulls his hat off his head, leans in, smiles.
I enjoy seeing your face when you're angry. You become so very red.
It does not. As if on cue, Lucifer can feel himself heat up from rage, and he tries to cover it by slapping his hands over his face. Alastor cackles maniacally, watching him with thinly veiled glee in his eyes.
Like a tomato.
I don't want to hear that for someone who's dressed like a tomato.
Before you offer fashion advice, you should look in the mirror, sir. What a clown!
Hey, if you looked up clown in the dictionary, you'd be the definition.
Alastor growls and yanks Lucifer's jacket forcefully, bringing him in closer.
The contact causes a swooping thrill in Lucifer's stomach, and he smacks Alastor's hand away to chase after him, sprinting and throwing verbal jabs during the pursuit. Go see your friend and get a new wardrobe.
Oh, Rosie! Thank you for your concern. I will definitely look for a new coat for you there. A red one to match your face.
Yep. Oh, fuck. Lucifer trips on one of the stairs and starts flying toward Alastor's unsuspecting back. He smacks right into him, and the momentum causes them both to roll down the staircase going downwards. 1 step, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way until they land in front of the hotel staff, wide-eyed and disheveled. Belatedly, Lucifer realizes that the impact to the ground didn't hurt much.
You are heavier than I expected. Can you get off before you crush me to death?
When Lucifer looks down, he finds that he's currently sitting on Alastor's lower back, his broad shoulders and fluffy hair in plain view. When he turns around, he glares in displeasure at Lucifer. Sounds like someone needs to go to the gym, Lucifer challenges, and Charlie, instead of breaking up the fight, tenderly wipes a tear away from her cheek.
I never thought I'd say this, but I am so glad you two are arguing again.
The next day, Charlie places her ear against the door of the conference room, but she can't hear anything from outside.
What do you think they're doing in there?
Charlie whispers to Maggie. She wordlessly hands a glass cup to Charlie, who puts it on the wall to try and listen closer. What, Alastor and Lucifer? Maggie's eyes shift towards the locked door. In a locked room? Just the two of them? For hours?
Yeah!
Charlie's entire body is pressed against the door at this point.
You don't think they've actually killed each other, do you?
The door suddenly swings open and Charlie yelps as she falls down, dropping the cup onto the floor during her tumble.
Can we help you?
Alastor says pleasantly.
Oh, Alastor, Dad, just checking in.
Charlie hurriedly pulls herself up to the ground.
What are you... Everything good?
Charlie, my girl. Lucifer lights up once he sees her, and he waves at her with his golden fiddle. And Maggie, we're just playing music.
Music?
Charlie blinks at this.
Like, for fun?
Mimsy requested for us to perform at her jazz club.
Alastor gestures to his piano at the back.
It'll be for a few nights.
Oh my God! Dad!
Charlie runs over to Lucifer, and she looks absolutely thrilled at this turn of events.
That's wonderful! We have to go cheer you on. What time?
The first performance is tonight, Lucifer says. Before Charlie can respond, Maggie touches her hand to get her attention. Charlie, we're supposed to see the overlords tonight, remember, for our, meeting? Maggie murmurs, and she hesitates at this.
You're right, Maggie. Thanks for the reminder.
Charlie looks a bit crestfallen, but she recovers quickly and claps her hands together.
Okay, we will all come and see you tomorrow. I'll bring a video camera. How does that sound?
If you dare film me, I will make sure you regret every second that you get me on camera.
Alastor warns.
Okay, I'll just film you, Dad.
She turns to look at him, but she suddenly notices the rest of the room. The apple and pinstripe wallpaper, the stained glass windows that depict a deer and family of ducks, the large red radio in the corner.
Wait! You two finished renovating this place? It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Lucifer puffs up with pride at this. Nothing I couldn't handle, of course.
I made the necessary adjustments to really, let's say, elevate the taste.
Alastor chimes in, pointing to various areas with his radio cane.
See this? He was really about to hang a simple crystal chandelier when clearly this ruby one is much better.
Oh, you just love micromanaging. Lucifer rolls his eyes, and Alastor glowers at him in response.
Regardless, I love what you two have done with the place,
Charlie says hurriedly, trying to break up their fight.
In fact, this is more like a music room or something.
A music room,
Alastor echoes. He places his finger on his chin and looks around the space, which was currently housing a variety of music stands, instruments, and speakers.
Yeah, it's certainly not a conference room now. You've really made it your own.
Charlie gasps and swivels around.
Are you two friends now?
No! Alastor and Lucifer respond at the same time, sniffing out Charlie's hopes.
Oh.
Her shoulders slump a bit, and Maggie gives her a reassuring squeeze on her arm.
Well, that's okay. I'm just happy you two are doing something that isn't fighting for once.
As lovely as it is seeing you, my dear, we've really got to work on this last set.
Alastor shoos them away, and Charlie takes a fumbling step out into the hallway.
Oh, yes! Don't want to disturb your practice. Looking forward to it.
Before Charlie can leave, Alastor places his hand on the door, preventing it from closing completely.
What are you talking about with the overlords?
Alastor asks.
Shouldn't I be involved?
His eyes lock onto hers, and Charlie puts her finger over her lips as a gesture of silence.
Don't worry, Alastor. I'll tell you once the plans are finalized.
Charlie shuts the door, and once she and Maggie are alone in the hall, Charlie pulls her in for a tight hug.
Maggie, it's working! My plan for them to get along is actually succeeding.
That's great, hon. Maggie can't help but smile at Charlie's infectious joy. I always knew that if anyone could do it, it would be you.
This is the perfect news to receive right before our meeting.
Charlie reaches her hand out to Maggie, who accepts it.
Let's go and prepare now.
They walk away, hand in hand, and Charlie has a spring in her step. So, where's this jazz club anyway? Lucifer packs up his fiddle, and he conjures up a portal to leave. I'll just meet you there.
Oh, it's nearby.
Alastor says dismissively.
Why don't you fly around in the sky and look for me again?
Asshole.
How charming, sir.
Lucifer shoots him one final scowl before he teleports away. When Alastor finally leaves the room, he hums the song they've been practicing under his breath, and he makes his way down into the lobby to get a drink from Husk. Tonight's experience should be interesting, Alastor thinks, chuckling to himself. They had been practicing the songs for a long time, and even he had to admit that they were sounding pretty cohesive, as though they were a duo who frequently performed together. When he passes by the television, the screen flickers into life, and he sighs audibly when he hears it. "You fucking piece of shit!" Vox yells, his face pressed right onto the monitor. "You and that royal motherfucker destroyed our tower."
Well, you are the one who resorted to blackmail, Vox.
Alastor doesn't even bother to look over.
I believe we simply handed you your just desserts.
"Don't think this is the last you've seen of me." "The boss," Vox snarls. "I've got a plan, and if you don't start taking me seriously, you're gonna regret it, bitch."
Oh, I'm shaking.
Alastor places his hand onto the television, and he grins sardonically at him.
Unfortunately, you have lost your signal.
What? Alastor! Alastor electrocutes the television, and the screen fades to black.
Well,
Alastor stands up straighter and wipes his hand on his shirt.
that's that then.
He makes his way to the bar, blissfully indifferent to Vox's budding rage. Thanks for coming, boys.
Mimsy ushers them in. They're standing inside the jazz club. Lucifer looks around, noting the dark decor, the red piano on a large stage, and the huge number of patrons chain-smoking at the tables.
Alastor, sweetie, what gorgeous tunes will you be performing tonight?
Mimsy sweeps him up into her arms, and Lucifer side-eyes the two of them as Alastor reciprocates the hug with gusto.
Only the top hits, of course.
He sings, and he looks over at Alastor.
Mimsy, this is...
Lucifer, of course.
She performs a curtsy.
Your Highness, such an honor to have you here. What instrument will you be playing?
"Oh, I'll be on the fiddle tonight." Lucifer pulls his gold instrument out. Mimsy whistles at the sight before pushing them both towards the back of the stage.
Perfect. You two will be on in a few minutes. Go get ready.
Once Mimsy leaves, Lucifer paces back and forth across the stage, feeling more nervous than he expected. He peeks through the curtain to check on the audience, and he exhales a large breath to calm down.
I did not anticipate for you to have stage fright.
Alastor's voice pierces across the stage. Lucifer scowls at this and pulls the curtain closed. "What? Who, me? Nah, no way."
They'll be too drunk to really care.
Alastor lifts up the piano lid and shuffles the music sheets to the right spot.
And besides, I am here.
Lucifer is oddly touched by Alastor's statement. "Yeah?"
Rest assured that even if you fail, I'll still perform well. Ha ha!
Lucifer sighs and slaps his hand on his face from exasperation. "I don't know what else I expected from you."
Indeed!
The curtain swishes open, and Lucifer's breath hitches at the sight of other people milling about. It's been several years since he performed in public, and he's not quite sure what to expect. Fortunately, the crowd is too wrapped up in their own conversations to notice them. At the front.
Play the song, sir.
Alastor is quiet, but his voice still cuts through the noise from the crowd. Once Alastor starts pressing his fingers to the piano keys, Lucifer places the fiddle onto his collarbone, and they play the songs they practiced in the room. It's kind of soothing, actually, performing music for a disinterested crowd, and Lucifer can pretend that they're still in the music room at the hotel, just the two of them. The patrons finally leave during the twilight hour, and Lucifer slumps down on a vacant chair after their recital. The jazz club is deserted, and there's a radio in the background playing an old song, one that he doesn't recognize. "Oh, God." Lucifer places his head on the table from fatigue. "That was long."
It certainly was.
Alastor sits down on a chair across from him, and he's holding a bottle of whiskey in his hands. He unscrews the cap from the bottle and pours a generous portion into each cup.
Your payment.
"Ugh, it's too bitter." Lucifer gazes at the bottle, the amber liquid twinkling under the dim lights. "I mean, maybe if it's on the rocks or something." Alastor snaps his fingers, immediately conjuring up some ice cubes in one of the glasses.
Does this suit your delicate tastes?
Very funny, douchebag." Still, Lucifer reaches over to grab a glass once Alastor finishes filling them up, and their fingers graze each other unintentionally. Lucifer looks at him, waiting for Alastor to jerk away from the contact, but he doesn't. Instead, Alastor unfurls his grip on the glass, one finger at a time. He's agonizingly slow, endlessly mystifying, and when Alastor finally pulls back, Lucifer feels a bit frozen under his indecipherable stare. "Thanks," he says quietly. Alastor doesn't deign to respond. They drink together without speaking, and it should be uncomfortable, but the old radio is playing some jazzy tune, and Alastor's humming softly under his breath, clearly a fan of the song. He's never really sat in silence with Alastor before. Lucifer looks at him, and his deer ears catch his attention when they twitch subconsciously. I wonder how they feel like, Lucifer thinks absent-mindedly. He starts to reach his hand over.
Thanks, boys.
Mimsy pops in out of nowhere, and Lucifer yanks his hand back, a bit abashed at his actions. As she sits down with them, Lucifer's mind starts going a mile a minute. Was he seriously about to pet Alastor's ears? Mimsy, thankfully, is none the wiser about it.
You two sounded amazing. Alastor, care for a dance?
Why, of course.
Alastor pounds back the glass of whiskey before pulling Mimsy up onto the stage. Their shoes clack merrily on the wood as they execute perfect tap steps to the sound of the radio. A 1 and a 2 and a... Lucifer watches with interest as Alastor dances on stage, his movements jumpy and precise.
Your Majesty, would you honor this gal with a dance?
Mimsy extends a hand towards him. Lucifer's eyes widen. He sips the whiskey to pass the time, the liquid burning his throat as it trickles down. "Oh, I have no idea how to do any of that." Lucifer motions towards Alastor, who is currently in the middle of a complicated tap sequence.
I'll show you.
Mimsy mimes throwing a rope at him and pulling him onto the stage. It's enough to ease Lucifer's discomfort, and he unfurls his wings to fly towards her, a bit dizzy from the alcohol, which is why he doesn't notice Alastor's eyes following him as he descends onto the platform. Although Mimsy is tiny, she's incredibly nimble, and Lucifer has a hard time keeping up. It's fun, though, and he laughs when he misses a step.
You see? What I tell you.
He sits down on the stage to take a swig from his whiskey. Mimsy goes back to dance with Alastor, and as he spins her in place, she shouts,
Well, hey, Alastor could teach you, right, sweetheart?
They both freeze at this, and Alastor ceases dancing for a moment. There's a frisson in the air when they swivel their heads to look at each other, and Lucifer has to whip his eyes away immediately. No, thanks. He frantically waves his arms to turn her down. I'm more of an observer than anything. In fact, I've been told I got 2 left feet. Except he was lying. Lucifer was a pretty proficient dancer, but there was absolutely no chance that Alastor would care to be in such close quarters with him, just to teach him some moves on stage.
Suit yourself.
She looks like she doesn't believe him, but she doesn't push it. The music plays a different song, more upbeat, and she claps excitedly at this.
Come on now, let's get going.
Mimsy and Alastor continue to dance, rotating among different styles, the jitterbug, the foxtrot, the charleston, and Lucifer finishes up his whiskey, wondering if he could maybe learn how to dance those by watching videos online. I'll look it up when I get home, Lucifer mutters into his drink. Bathed in the eerie blue light from his monitors, Vox clicks open a folder full of image files. Alastor and Lucifer holding hands in his radio tower, Alastor's hand on his shoulder at the Consent Club, Lucifer's hand on Alastor's chest in the alleyway, the two of them performing music together at a jazz club. He bites down on his finger in anger, and he scours through the monitors to search for more damning evidence. Although Alastor's figure is distorted, it's still very clear who it is, and Vox's eyes flick from screen to screen in search for him. Valentino places a hand on the back of his chair, and he leans in close to look at the images. What are you even doing? Is this your version of porn? I'm going to make that fucker and his kingly dog wish they had never messed with me. Vox snarls, his eyes glued onto the screens. Just you wait.